Hello there guys, how are you all doing today? We are going to be jumping pretty much straight into this one. Obviously, Zero Tenacity versus Bax here. We are currently on Mirage, as you can see, and it is going to be an absolutely amazing matchup. As you can see in the top left corner, the Veto's currently Mirage, Vertigo, and then Nuke. It is in fact Bax starting on this CT side, and they've got off to a brilliant start. Danis, what a triple there. A quad, in fact, with the Julies. An absolutely amazing start here for Bax, kicking things off on their opponent's map pick. This is to find out our final team getting themselves to the semi-finals. After today, we will find the top 4 of the Challenger division. Just an eco here for Zero Tenacity, so just going to be playing a little bit more passively. They are aggressing out mid, in fact. Simka able to find Lovica, so at least they found one kill. I believe that M4 can be retrieved, though, from Rexy. Straight away, though, Bax. They start things off with a nice cheeky 2-round lead. Obviously, they're going to be facing off against the full buy of Zero Tenacity. There's some slight limitations regarding util, but all players with AK, so definitely going to be a strong buy here for Zero Tenacity. Oh, I love that aggression from Danis. Progressing through apartments, gets a double. Instantly, Bax once again keep their winning ways going. Four versus 3 now. Even more aggression towards middle. Axis very deep towards round. We do have a player in Palace, that is AVN. Very passive, though, from Zero Tenacity. They understand that they've had a really shaky start to this round, and to try and finish it off, it's going to be tough. Namana sending the util out of connector. We'll just drop a smoke, so he's safe from short. Do have a player in Palace, though. That is Axis. The aggression through ramp has gotten him a great position towards Palace. Axis will be able to take down the bomb planter, surely. Easy kill there for Axis. Simka and AVN, all that remain here. And Axis from range with the MP9 drops Simka down very low. Gonna get found. The final player, AVN, all that remains. And a great round there for Bax. And that all came from that aggression in apartments from Danis very early on. Put them in a great position. That's where Bax really started to kind of close out the round. Another full buy out for Zero Tenacity. Really lacking in the util department. We do have the AWP out on Rexy very early on here. AVN does find Axis. Oh, Kyofo as well, taking down Lovicus. Kyofo's been tagged down very low. We're just going to be seeing... Oh, we're seeing a save here from Bax. Zero Tenacity, they've been given a gift in this round. He posted up with the AWP, waiting for a hunt, but it's not going to come through. Zero Tenacity with all 5 alive. They definitely just want to keep every player alive here, especially because they've had somewhat of a shaky start. Obviously, this is their map pick. Did just come off the back of those two individual entries towards A. They were so quick. One literally just after the other, and that's what forced the save, really. Oh, the nade taking down Simka, but it's so clear to see that the save from Bax definitely has worked out. They've got great weapons in this one, and instantly they've got themselves in a 4v2. We've had 25 seconds of play, and 3 of these aggressors on Zero Tenacity have fallen. Oh, make it a 4th as Rexy finds Kyofo. And Brute Monster all that remains. Refire will close it out. Brute Monster unable to find anything. And Bax, they start things off on Mirage very nicely here. Rexy. Oh, what a shot there. Takes down Simka. That's a lovely flick. He had 2 targets to aim at, and he opted for the harder one, to be fair, but still found the frag. Another full buyout for Zero Tenacity, but certainly not perfect, and we still don't have the AWP on Brute Monster. Brute Monster being a player that I feel like sometimes has a bit of a slow start with the AWP, seeing as he hasn't even been able to wield it yet. Not going to be great. This is Zero Tenacity's map pick. Obviously, we've seen both of these teams look very good on Mirage. The second map being Vertigo, a map that neither of these teams have played in the regular season. So I can't wait to see how Vertigo plays out. Potentially both of these teams kind of leaving it in as a little bit of a punish pick. But Bax, they're certainly going to want to punish Zero Tenacity. And obviously the final map being Nuke, another map where both of these teams have really found success. So this is going to be an absolutely amazing series. I can't wait to see it play out, but that is an important find from Brute Monster. Brings it back to a 4v4 and really gives Zero Tenacity a chance in this one. Namana getting somewhat inquisitive up connector. Might meet his maker though, as we do have the AWP of Rexy towards triple, but never mind. Namana so crisp on the AK there. Axis, he's got a lot of work to do. He found 2 so far, looking for the 3rd. Will just scurry his way back through the smoke. Oh, but in fact, he's gone towards Tetris. I don't think they're aware of it. Does fall to the molly, but Danis rotating in from jungle does find Brute Monster. And even with those individual heroics, that kill from the Mana, the one from ladder from Brute Monster, it didn't even matter. Backstale looking so good in this one. And I feel like a player to point out is Danis, 11-0. We've had 6 rounds of play and he's nearly got a 2 KR. And it's absolutely insane.
Obviously, Fred, this was a matchup we were looking at. We've been sort of looking at for a while, really, thinking that this is, along with a lot of the other games in the quarterfinals, was one of the most competitive, one of the hardest to predict as well. Bax and Zero Tenacity both have had, I mean, looked really great this season. Zero Tenacity, they sort of slowed down a little bit in some of the previous seasons, but this season they looked great. And Bax, as always, their regular season's looking really strong. I do believe Bax, the best they've ever made it to playoffs was quarterfinals, so winning this series would improve on their last 2 previous seasons.
Yeah, obviously they've had a really nice start here on Mirage, but Rootfire not having the greatest of starts in this round as Brute Monster eliminates him with ease on the Deagle, has retrieved the M4, going to be rotating in. Smoke there dropped, will allow Danis to keep himself alive for a couple seconds longer. Oh, I love that from Rexy. So aware. Brings it back to a 4v4. AVN. Zero Tenacity have been so clean on the Deagles this round. And Brute Monster still towards bench, causing havoc here on the B-bomb site. And he gets a double. He's got 3 in the round so far. And it's just Rexy remaining with the AWP. 1 versus 4. The barrel's been spotted. And the kill has been found. So the Brute Monster will be able to wield an AWP in the next.
Yeah, really impressive round there. The Zero Tenacity, especially from Brew Monster, finding the first kill, jumping his way out and just showing nothing. Just remaining towards bench. You saw the players were short. Really caught out.
And we need more of those rounds from Zero Tenacity on these full buys. We need that type of play where you can just get aggressive, find your individual picks, because it seems as though Zero Tenacity, they've got the ability, but I feel like in this matchup so far, it seems as though they're a little bit disjointed. Potentially the communication or the cooling just isn't at that level that we're used to, and potentially they're relying on individuals. But Charlie, look what it's done to the money. Pax won 5 out of 6 rounds, and all it took was Zero Tenacity besting them on a Deagle round. And now they've got MP9s, they've got FAMASs in play. Rexy doesn't even have armor. Glass cannoning this AWP.
Yeah, it does really show the financial economies and how it does really work, especially on the CT side. It can be so challenging to control. It doesn't really matter how many rounds you win, unless you're really building up some hefty bank. You can just sort of die out so quickly.
Yeah, and this is kind of giving Zero Tenacity an avenue back into this one. Obviously, not to say that they were out of it, but Pax looked absolutely amazing when starting things off. But if Zero Tenacity can find this round, they will definitely be well within their right. Kind of well within the ability to bring this one back to a level playing field. Obviously, Mirage, a map that is CT-sided, but ever so slight. Ooh, those steps have been heard. Roofire will find one. Could have potentially got a multitude more frags. Gave up his position a little early there. Obviously, finding one with the MP9 in that position, certainly not bad whatsoever. But it's going to leave Rexy and Lovicus to defend here towards B. We still have 2 players towards T-spawn.
Yeah, Flashbang just going to force Rexy off, holding any sort of cross from short, so the bomb can go down successfully.
This Molotov there. Quite tough. Are we going to be seeing a save here? Surely not. Lovicus potentially wanting to retake from short, but Namana in a brilliant position here. Currently towards the top mid, so they know that the only aggression is going to come from apartments and market. Obviously, it does make this a 4 versus 3 on the bomb site currently. Oh, Axis will take down AVN. Gonna retrieve the AK, but gets taken down in transition. Simka, an important kill onto Axis. Oh, and Simka from the backside, he finds another. Lovicus will fall, and Rexy just going to try and save this AWP now. Is currently being hunted by Namana.
Yeah, hurt towards CT. There is a possibility he could go down with this AWP. Oh, doesn't peek out soon enough, so Rexy is able to keep hold of this, and Backs still keep their lead, obviously, but still the gap is closed by 2 rounds. Not far off now.
Yeah, obviously, this is just going to be a half buy here for Backs. Obviously, Rexy does have the AWP, as we mentioned before, has invested in armor as well, but definitely going to have to be the real hero in this round for Backs, because we really need to see them try and kind of recover the lead they initially had, because, you know, Backs definitely a team that... Oh, Monster. Okay. Feel like Roofire wanted to retrieve the AWP, but wasn't able to. But yeah,
I mean, this round just sort of...
it's already over.
Went one way after about 2 seconds. 3 kills to win those Tenacities after a very minimal amount of time, really.
But yeah, as I was saying, you know, Backs, realistically, they look really nice early on here on Mirage. And if they could have kept this one going, it would have given them that confidence. And also the map, you know, the initial first map going into Vertigo. Obviously, as I mentioned before, Vertigo, a little bit of a kind of questionable one, as neither team have played it.
Yeah, there certainly are question marks in this series, but I think both teams are very evenly matched in terms of some of the individual prowess that we can see. And it's just going to be a real delight to get to watch these players on their top form. Potentially a 3-map series. And one of the most competitive series I think we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, this was definitely the one that we're kind of eyeing up as the highest contention. Obviously, you know, after we watched the Into the Breach VP.Prodigy game, it seems as though that game was the one to be contested, and we've seen 2 really kind of interesting matches so far in the quarterfinals. We've had, obviously, Hotu Best, Iron Branch, and VP.Prodigy take down Into the Breach, so we're in a situation now that, you know, once we find out the final semi-finalists, I don't think we really are going to have a clear eye on who's going to take it. Obviously, a team like OnePin, they're certainly they could be the favourites, but I really don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough one. I think as soon as Iron Branch got knocked out, we were surprised and were sort of like, oh wow, Iron Branch. They're gone from this one, but Into the Breach, obviously, this is really their tournament to take now. And then Into the Breach got knocked out by VP.Prodigy, a team who sort of looked a bit disappointed this season, but really stepped up where they needed to. So now it's so up in the air.
There's so many upsets. You'd love to see that. Lovicus does find one. Oh, Simka with a triple there. He finds them both towards the back of the bomb site, lining up perfectly. And it's just Axis remaining 1 versus 3, and he gets eliminated by Brute Monster's AWP. And Zero Tenacity, as I mentioned, they brought it back to a level playing field.
Yeah, all leveled up here. Bax's money isn't great as well, so there's a good chance CT are able to actually take the lead from this one.
Yeah, and it was just as I mentioned. You can't really be... if you're wanting to close out this series, I feel like you need to take the first map. Gives you that buffer, because Vertigo, unknown territory for us to say. We don't really have a favourite. And regarding Nuke, both of these teams, they've looked great on it. I feel like that's kind of the level we're at so far, even in the quarterfinals. We're at a point where you really can't favour a team. I feel like the Vetoes, they kind of favour both sides, so it is just going to come down to individual ability. It's going to come down to who is fragging on the day.
I mean, I remember we were talking about the vetoes of the Into the Breach game VP.Prodigy yesterday.
Yeah.
And we sort of looked at the vetoes and we thought it heavily favoured Into the Breach. Yeah, evidently not. It's really up in the air because playoffs is a completely different beast to the regular season. It's not just a best of one. It's not even just a best of three. It's so much more than that. It's just the sort of pressure, the whole circumstances of what it means to go one step further, win that one series, what it's going to mean in the long run. It's just so many question marks around it, but that's why we love CS. That's why we love these best of threes in the SCL. But this looks like an easy one from Zero to Nasty. Not Into the Breach, they're out. But one of these teams will fall at the same stage as Into the Breach did, so scary thought.
There's something to mention, though. I feel like you spoke about the vetoes in that kind of ITB game. I still want to say that Into the Breach, they did win the vetoes, but I feel like they just weren't on their day. And that's a scary thing, as you mentioned. This is kind of like do or die. You don't really have a second chance. Everything's up in the air, and you know, this is for qualification, getting yourself to semi-finals to get yourself one step further. And obviously, one of these two teams is going to be eliminated. I'm going to have to wait till next season to prove themselves. But I feel like you've got to imagine... I feel like they just weren't feeling it on the day, and I feel like when you get to these quarterfinal, semi-final stages, it's not going to come down to the vetoes. It's just going to be, you know, who's feeling it on the day, what individual's going to carry you through, and it's kind of sometimes a scary thought.
I remember I was talking about after the first map of that series yesterday, I sort of said, it feels like VP.Prodigy just don't have their individuals stepping up how they used to, and then by the end of it on Nuke, individuals were absolutely tearing apart everybody. So just these best of threes, doesn't matter how the first one goes, because it does feel like anything can change in it. The nade thrown might have been heard. Kyofo finds the first though. He's looking really sharp in this one. Danis just get a trade back, but Kyofo right there quickly after. And Simka finds the player in market, just Rexy and Lovicus remaining.
Charlie, something to mention, Danis was 11-0 at one point, and Simka certainly nowhere near Danis's record, but currently they are level on kills. Simka really stepped up in the last couple rounds, and sometimes you do just need a hero.
Two remaining players, 4 backs. They are going to need to save. Not a surprise. But Fred, this is going to mark 6 rounds in a row from Zero to Nasty. They were 5-1 down, so very impressive that they've just sort of come back into this one so quickly.
Something to mention as well, Charlie. Zero Tenacity, they haven't lost a round since Brute Monster's been on the AWP. He's 8-7, so not kind of, you know, crazy frags, but I feel like when you have, you know, your AWPer, you know, utilising their main weapon, it's the type of peaks they can go for. It's the impact that they can have, the sight lines that they can just hold down. Because Brute Monster, you get them posted up towards middle. If you can find a frag early, there's really nothing that backs can kind of show towards mid, because you really don't want to be facing against Brute Monster, especially when he's on the AWP. But 6 rounds in a row since Brute Monster's been on the AWP just goes to show how much impact this player has.
It's very evident Zero Tenacity feel like they've found themselves a weak spot on this CT defense. Lining up towards B once again. It's when they found so much success.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because the B bomb site usually very much neglected. Sometimes you'll see it on kind of a fast pop here or there, or you'll see players lurking towards B house. But I feel like A is usually the play, kind of a little bit of a replication of Vertigo, you could say. I feel like Mirage and Vertigo have those similarities. Oh, nice firing from Kyofo though. Takes down Rexy. AVN will find Danis as well. Roofire and Axis. All that remains, 2 versus 3 now. And they might just go for this, Charlie. The Molotov could just force their hand, but eventually backed. There's only a couple rounds remaining. They opted for the force in this one. So you've got to imagine they're going to have to start going for these type of rounds. Axis finds one. An important kill from Kyofo onto Roofire. And Brute Monster will be posted up with the AWP. Could get found here.
Let's get chipped down. Brute Monster continues to re-peek. Doesn't even care.
We should play
Just
with
keeps
this,
on swinging. That shows confidence there. Half has now been won from Zero Tenacity. I don't know if we expected this when backs were 5-1 up.
Yeah, but can't really expect anything. As we mentioned, nothing's confirmed here. I feel like take the series yesterday. VP.Prodigy lost their map pick 16-2. And they went to close out the series. Which is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like that series I'm going to be thinking about for quite some time. I think those youngsters certainly are as well.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of the names on the team of Into the Breach.
Something to mention, Charlie. I don't know whether we've spoken about this before, but the average age of the VP.Prodigy team is 18. And they're competing against, you know, the top of the top. We've got players like Drac and Rusty. I don't know. I guess we'll stop. Is the phrase kicking the dead horse? Kicking the dead, is that it?
Beating the dead horse?
Something the dead horse.
Stop talking about dead horse. But once again, Zero Tenacity lined up towards B. Smoke's coming over. Simka dumping out some flashbangs, but this doesn't look like a full commit. The bomb is there, but there's a couple of players creeped out towards mid.
They've just boosted AVN into window. He's in a great position, but Rexy finds him. And the fact that it was done silently, they know there's another player towards middle. Danis in a great position, finds the first and the second. Drops Simka down very low. And that hesitation there from Zero Tenacity, not actually fighting towards B, potentially has cost them this one. Namana and Simka, all that remain. Namana falls. It's all on Simka now. 1 versus 3. Will jump on top of the van, but surely going to get taken down by Lovicus. And Bax, they find their 6th. Zero Tenacity, they're always going to be getting a full buy. Look at the money they've got in the bank. Obviously, this is the final round of the half, but we still have limitations in play for Bax. A FAMAS on Axis. Is that an MP9 drop for Danis? Oh, an M4 in fact.
Interestingly, Zero Tenacity obviously trying to abuse the B site and trying to also, just the fact that they've gone to B so many times, they were hoping that it would sort of cause Bax to slightly over-rotate. Bax didn't do that. Despite losing so many rounds towards B, they remained with their 2-man hold, which allowed Rexy to find the kill towards mid. I believe they were hoping that Rexy would also rotate in so they could get a player in the back lines before going for the final hit. Either way, really impressive from Bax there, sort of not moving, not being forced into sort of gambling.
Well, I think that came from the hesitation. It came from the fact that we didn't see players out of apartments off the kind of the back of the initial util. That's what we needed to see. Oh, Axis under balcony does find Brute Monster. I love the aggressive play there from Brute Monster, but certainly not panning out as he initially thought. Namana, though, will find one. Gets a second. Rexy on the trade. 2 versus 2 now. And Kyofo, destined to find this frag towards short, does take down Danis. Rexy, all that remains. The bomb making its way through apartments. AVN can plant here. Are we planting for short? needs to be wary about window. Oh, the timing's perfect there for Kyofo. Lovely little one tap onto the AWP of Rexy. And Zero Tenacity, they close out the half with 9 rounds. Danis, though, 18 and 9, a 2 KD, a 1.2 KR. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, need someone to step up with him, though.
I feel like it's not that we need someone to step up with him. I feel like we need the kind of the lowest of the lows to improve. Rufire currently 3 and 10. A scoreline we're really not expecting. And in these high pressure games, this is when you need everyone to be on their best behavior, really. They really can't be making simple mistakes.
Gonna be interesting to see how Zero Tenacity's CT side is gonna go. Definitely sort of found a weakness and continue to try to exploit it. And you've got to say, I do think it worked out very well for them.
Well, yeah.
Even that round, you have to think Namana finding that sort of that triple there towards A. In fact, there's 3 players so close. Finds the first, able to turn with 2 players basically look at him and still finding another. Great play from Namana. 3 important kills in that final round.
And something to mention, obviously, Zero Tenacity, they won 8 out of the final 9 rounds. Just goes to show, all Backs needed was a couple more rounds, you know, here and there, dotted in or stringing some rounds together, but it just really didn't work out for them. Zero Tenacity came alive on that T side, but this pistol going to hold a lot of importance. Backs, if they find it, they can potentially bring themselves back level, whereas Zero Tenacity can extend the lead once further. We do have a player in connector here. It is Namana. Oh, taking the attention away, but Axis checks him. Oh, and he's just going to have to scurry away into jungle. That is Simka trying to keep himself alive, but he does fall. Rexy still towards short. Oh, AVN with a triple. Oh, he gets the 4th. That is ridiculous. AVN finding 4 with the USP, on for the ace. All he needs to find is Rexy. And that progression into jungle, really the misplay for Backs. They allowed AVN to get a nice double, gets the triple. Oh, and Brute Monster with a nice little one tap to close things out. But Backs, they found those 2 opening kills. It seemed as though the round was destined for theirs to take. But after they got that 2-man advantage, they were hungry for more. They wanted to close it out. They knew that AVN was towards jungle. They tried to punish him, but in fact, potentially threw the round away.
I mean, AVN was the bottom performing player on Zero Tenacity. Had 6 kills before that round. Reached double digits with some really great shots. And Rexy, obviously, Backs had man advantage, and Rexy was sort of towards short. It looked good. Looked like he was going to catch some plays in the back lines. All of a sudden, all his team's gone. Really impressive stuff. Simka has a lot of targets ahead of him.
7 kills.
He does finish off the lot. A couple of kills, though, found. It's not too bad from the Glocks, really, considering it was just a full eco. AVN could have fell as well, so yeah, it's not too bad considering it's just the eco.
Charlie, AVN has got 8 kills in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's really impressive stuff. I mean, you got to think, that's a worrying thing for a player's confidence. Or at least if you're the other team, obviously. Yeah. Just, he was having a tough game, and you sort of just fed him so many frags. Just, the confidence can be built off of that. He might be going for more advantageous peaks. Might be going for stuff that can just catch you off now.
And talk about that. He's swinging short. He's going for those aggressive peaks. AVM with a lovely double there. 10 kills so far in the last 3. Oh, and Rufire. He's made his position known. Simka has a bit of a freebie here. Takes him down. Decimates the plant pot as well. Just for the fun of it. 4 versus 2.
A rifle that can be picked up now. And these 2 players, Axis and Rexy, they've retrieved the bomb, but still, a lot more to do in this round.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them. Slowly going to be creeping their way up middle. Won't be met with any contact. I say that. It seems as though... Actually, no. They won't be met with any contact. They can get this deep control. We got a player in Palace, one towards CT. Deep aggression in apps from Simka, and the final player just playing towards Van on B. And that's a little bit of a problem. See, Backs, they definitely wanted to find themselves an opener before going into the execute, before trying to take any control. But the fact that Zero Tenacity are playing so passively here, Backs, they're just going to have to brute force their way onto a bomb site, and that's certainly not what they're needing. not what they wanted whatsoever. It will be the B-bomb site that they're leaning, but Kyofo finding 1, and Simka takes down Rexy. Zero Tenacity, they find 12, destined to find 13 as well, as Back's just going to be on this half buy here, and Zero Tenacity, they found their footing, they found their form. Out of the last 12 rounds, they've been successful in 11 of them.
Yeah, Back's really not much of a response. I'm not sure if we've seen any pauses from them, but either way, I think after this round, they should need it. They'll be back in the full buys. And potentially Zero Tenacity could be on 13 at that point. Only 3 rounds away from closing out their series. Danis. Quite advantageous here. Namana falls. Kyofo. Luckily, the bullets don't connect onto him, so he does get the trade. Brute Monster, nice finding onto Roofire. 3 versus 4. These Deagles can still be a nuisance. We know how strong the individuals are on both of these teams.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough. Obviously, Zero Tenacity, their main goal is not to lose any more lives, because that is going to be a real problem for them. Nade will be sent towards default. They're going to try and get the bomb down, but it's going to be tough. And as this smoke fades, it's going to get that one step harder. Lovicus holding towards short. Oh, tasked with finding AVN. Does find success there. You have another player towards short, but as this smoke fades, Simka surely will come alive. Has spotted 2 players towards back default. Lovicus going to be creeping his way through the jungle. Going to be flanking here. Oh, this is scary. Kyofo needs to be aware of this. Oh, and he spotted him. Does find him. 3 versus 2 now. Easy shot for Brute Monster. Nearly gets them both.
Yeah, I think just the fact that Backs, as soon as that player went into jungle, there weren't really as many of those peaks, those shots. It was a bit more just like pot shots. And it was maybe a bit too obvious that it was a bit of a bait, just trying to delay for his teammate. So I think Kyofo sort of just had the one up there, but Zero Tenacity do find 13. This is the full buy from Backs. I kind of wanted to see a pause from them, just so they can try to get something going again, because, I mean, 3 rounds away, Zero Tenacity can almost close out this map.
It's quite a scary thought for Backs, especially as they were the ones in the driver's seat early on.
Yeah, completely different story from then. Feels like a completely different game. Monster does get chipped down slightly from the molly, but just gets himself out there. One minute on the clock. Backs are heading towards B by the looks of things. Picked up the bomb. Walking into apartments. Danis is going to be the lurk. Two plays here currently from Zero Tenacity. There can be a fast rotate, but very quick explosion here from Backs.
Oh, and the counter flash is so good there. AVM with a double. Namana's going to be rotating in as well. And the bomb has been dropped. 4 defenders now. And the aggression short from Danis. Absolutely finding nothing. So unfortunate there, but Backs, they've dug themselves into a very dark hole. Zero Tenacity are going to find 14, and realistically, are they going to force here? Rexy saved the AWP. We might be seeing a force buy here from Backs, but Charlie, things are looking very dicey here.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy call to make. Even the players who do sort of have enough money, Roofire access, is still not going to be great. Lovicus can get AK armor and a flashbang. But either way, none of it's ideal. Danis doesn't have any head armor. It's not really going to matter, actually, the fact that Namana is the only player with an M4.
Yeah, I think the one thing, though, is the fact that Rexy saved there. It's kind of forced the hand of this backside, because Rexy would have had a really weak buy in the next alongside his teammates. But I feel like all these situations, the situation that Bax is in really isn't looking good whatsoever, and things go from bad to worse as Namana takes down Axis. Rexy does get the trade though, so onto this 4v4, but the lack of utility gonna make things tough here for Bax, and Simka gets a kill, a lot of damage onto Roofire. But Lovicus's progression out of Palace, perfectly timed. AVN finding Roofire though, brings it back to a level playing field, and Rexy going to be peeking towards short. This could be perfect. Does find the first. No trade come through, but he has spotted one. Trying to get himself out of harm's way.
Does get chipped down significantly, but still alive for now. AVN backing off towards short. He's where it is. He's just making the sort of long haul play. Lovicus towards CT. AVN 8 bullets in the mag.
He does have a nade. Doesn't really matter. Lovicus was enough HP to survive it. Didn't even get sent over, but Pax are in a really tough position here. 7 rounds behind their opponent. Obviously, this is Zero Tenacity's map pick, but it's devastating because Pax had such a great early start. And I wonder how this will affect their mentality going into Vertigo. And as I mentioned before, Vertigo, a little bit of an unknown battleground for both of these sides. Lovely find from Danis. Really important kill there. Charlie, we mentioned a couple rounds ago the fact that AVM was able to get those kind of 10 kills in 3 rounds. What did it do for his confidence? And look at him now. Top of the server here. Or top of the Zero Tenacity side.
Brewmonster and Kyofo do get a couple back. Brewmonster does fall though back. They are showing some signs of life still at the end of this half. Tenacity now being forced onto an eco. Bax can really start to close this lead. Still going to be a long way to go. Certainly not an impossible feat. Mono spotted on the edge of the smoke.
Is there a knife there?
Yeah,
AVN
does just emerge through the smoke, so AVN, he'll take that no problem.
Brewmonster going to be pushing here. Has the opportunity to find the kill. Can retrieve the M4. There's a real chance the Brewmonster can find some more success, but the lack of ammo in the USP and the M4 making it near impossible there for Brewmonster. But AVN will be able to drop over an AWP to Brewmonster, so that is going to be a massive benefiting factor. We mentioned how much impact Brewmonster gets with this AWP. Although he's only 14 and 14, the rounds that Zero Tenacity have won have generally come from the fact that Brewmonster's on the AWP. Ooh, Namana just shy of losing his life there as we saw the boost towards ramp.
$14 to 9 now. Zero Tenacity, their utility starting to drain very quickly. Quick trade from Lovicus down to underpass, but very back and forth so far. AVN finds Roofire.
3 versus 3 now. A lot of util for Bax to work with. Oh, nice shot from Rexy. Best the AWP of Zero Tenacity. Brewmonster will fall, but it's just a fake. Rexy just providing all of this kind of information. Oh, and he finds another. He's hungry for the third. The bomb can just go down towards B. Kyofo, all that remains here in this 1v3. Might just try and save the AWP if he can take down Rexy. Has he been spotted? Certainly not. Does find the kill, but Kyofo's going to have a look into this one. Without a kit, it is going to be somewhat tough. Yeah, and the molly and the nade just going to force him back. Can just save the AWP here. A player towards short though. That is Lovicus. But a nice little bit of resurgence here from Bax. They will find double digits now, 4 rounds away from their opponents. But obviously, one misstep is all that takes for Zero Tenacity to find match point. And that's when things get really scary.
And especially how we've spoken about how the economy can get destroyed very quickly. Sort of one round can just leave you from in a good place to you're sort of playing with Galil's weaker weapons, and that can really be the end of your comeback story.
I like this straight away. Kyofo dropping over the orb to Brute Monster, investing in a Deagle. I wonder what Simka, AVN, and Namana are going to do. Obviously, they've got this full loss bonus, so they could potentially invest in some pistols of their own. And we've seen Zero Tenacity, they did it with the pistols on the T side, so what's not to say that they can't do it on the CT side, accompanied by Brute Monster's orb. And that would be a devastating way to halt this Bax Esports comeback. Two players progressing through under, one towards ramp, and then obviously one out top mid. Namana waiting for the peak, but the player's already crossed, in fact. Just setting up the jungle smoke up top. It's all about timing here for Axis. Oh, they're going to go progressing. Feet have been spotted, and Namana just bouncing away from the bullets. But he's surely going to get tested here. Simka does find a frag. He's got armor to wield the AK. Going to get pushed on here. The missed Molotov might make things tough. Brute Monster still alive and kicking in this one. Currently towards jungle. Simka will be able to find one. The bomb plant not going to get down yet, and everything is going wrong here for Bax. Lovicus, though, with the AWP, does find AVN. 3 versus 2.
Is actually on for the ace. He's got 3 kills so far. Brute Monster finds Lovicus, Roofire. 1 versus 2, but Brute Monster's AWP's too strong. And you mentioned, Fred, one mistake is all it takes for Zero Tenacity to sort of find match point. And also just look at the money of some of these players. Danis, 3.2k, Roofire, 2.5. Weapons are going to have to be dropped over. Rexy, his AWP might just be a pipe dream at this point unless someone's just taking their hit.
Axis could bring one out, in fact. Could bring out an AWP. Rexy drops over an AK, and then potentially Roofire on a Mac 10. It's really not a good position to be in, but that is what's happened.
Yeah, it's going to make their utility a bit limited on a couple of players, but it's a risk I feel like you just got to accept at this point.
Yeah, Zero Tenacity, they've got 5 opportunities to close out map 1. Danis aggressing towards Connector. Simka does find the kill onto Danis, a really important opening pick. AVN towards ladder room. As this smoke fades, AVN might be able to find this pick. This could be it, Charlie. Oh, and AVN with a double. Surely it's all over now. Rexy and Axis, all that remain. I say that it's just Rexy on his lonesome. 1 versus 5 now with the AWP. Surely it's over. He does find the first, though.
He dropped over this AWP. I mean, this would be a real statement to show why, but 1 versus 5, surely too hard. Brute Monster shuts him down after he gets his first. 16-10. Zero Tenacity looked electric throughout that series. A bit of a rough start, a bit of a slower finish, but that middle section, domination for a long, long time.
Yeah, obviously, congratulations to Zero Tenacity. They bested Bax on their first matchup. Obviously, we mentioned Vertigo, a little bit of unsung territory for both of these teams, but I can't wait to see how this next game plays out. We will just jump to a short break before Vertigo. some reason you guys can't see us, but bang, bang, we're here. Welcome back, guys. Hope we're all doing well. We are going to be jumping into the secondary map here. Obviously, Zero Tenacity, they're going to be happy with the result of the first game, but what are your thoughts going into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, Vertigo is going to be a very interesting one, really. Just part of me just naturally thinks we're going to go to Nuke. I don't really have a reason why, but I do just think it's sort of leading there. In the regular season, neither of these teams actually played Vertigo. They might have played it in playoffs, but I'm not even too sure if they did. So yeah, it is a bit of an unknown. I think this one could come down to individuals.
And I think, you know, Bax certainly have that drive to take this map. They've clearly picked it for a reason, so even if they haven't played it in the regular season, maybe it's a map that they've kind of been trying to perfect a little bit under the radar, saving it for a rainy day. I feel like the storm's coming, so what a better time. There's no real better time to bring out a punish pick like Vertigo. They are just going to be slowly trickling their way back towards the B-bomb site. That is where AVN lies. Nice find there, spamming away with the USP. Does connect the shot. We'll just be hiding towards Guardian now, and the rotations are coming through. Kyofo to take this initial contact, but Axis, in fact, does find AVN, an important kill. Simka's rotated in as well, but it's going to be this A play here. Two players already very deep on the A bomb side. Brewmonster defending, does find the bomb carrier. Might try and find the secondary player here. That is Rexy. The bomb's on the other side of default, but Rexy doing a lot of work with a Glock. He's found two, searching for even more. Surely going to run out of bullets at some point, but they're just swarming. Axis will find one more. And it's all on Kyofo. 1 versus 3 gone 1v2. Swings out. They do line up, but the bullets aren't connecting. Bomb has been retrieved. Very minimal time, so just going to have to stick it. Rexy and Axis both found 2 kills so far in this round. There is a kit dropped. Not too sure where it was, but doesn't even matter. Axis finding 3 in that one. It did get somewhat dicey, but Bax, they do take it.
Yeah, it looked good, but the fact that Rexy was able just to survive for so long, the bullets weren't even really challenging him. He was just able to spam away with the Glock, constantly just cause pressure. He's a lone player towards the A site for a long time, but
straight away, though, we do see the force buy out for Zero Tenacity. 3 MP9s, 2 Deagles. Not much utility whatsoever, but kind of a similar story for Bax. They've opted quite heavily for weaponry. 2 Galils, 2 AKs, and Danis on the MAC-10. Such a cheeky smoke there from AVN. Will provide him with a bit of a one-way while progressing down ramp. They're going to be creeping their way up the ladder. Brute Monster's been boosted up here. No damage taken, though. We've had 40 seconds of play. They are going to be creeping their way towards middle. Kyofo just going to be jiggling, trying to bait in Brute Monster. Util will come over now. Brute Monster in a great position. Does find one. And the second can just drop off as well. And Kyofo going to be the one rotating in to help him out. Danis finds Avian as well. And Rufire pushes through Guardian. Takes down Kyofo. And Rexy going to find Amana. Although Zero Tenacity started this round off with a double entry from Brute Monster, it doesn't even matter. 4 kills gone the way of Bax. And it's just Simka remaining. Gets eliminated by Rufire and Bax. They double down. They will find this third round as well, as it should just be an eco. But Brute Monster, with those 2 kills in the MP9, will allow him to bring out the AWP and utility in the next.
yeah, it was a good effort, but the firepower just seemed a bit too strong there from Bax in the end. The Brute Monster was sort of dead to rights, and Kyofo maybe should have just realised that. Obviously, he wanted to help his teammate, potentially even swing off of him, but I think at that point, Brute was just so low, trapped in a corner. Maybe let him die and help more towards the actual B site. Bit of a cheeky run boost. Nothing comes from it, though.
Yeah, we love a little run boost.
Kyofo and Simka find a killer piece. I mean, I want to say this round's still up in the air, but obviously just these weaker pistols. Still, some real damage can be caused. Oh,
Unfortunate for Roofby there. They've got man advantage. Zero Tenacity, they can still somehow win this one.
Rexy towards sandbags. The issue is Zero Tenacity splitting up a bit here, allowing these isolated gunfights to come through. Simka, timing's perfect. Axis falls, and Rexy doesn't have much help to play with. 35 points of it. Simka does go down though. Significant damage dealt though. Monster does have the AWP. Util's not bad on the overall side of Zero Tenacity. Obviously, Brute Monster, the only one with real limitations. A lot of mid-aggression here from Bax. Molotov. Let's come through. Roofwire finds one, but Kyofo gets a double. So man advantage found here from Zero Tenacity. Bax still haven't progressed up the stairs towards B, but obviously you can see how paranoid Zero Tenacity actually are.
Well, they don't have any B defenders. Flash will come over. It should allow Rexy and Danis to progress. Kyofo playing this tiny gap angle. I feel like you only really ever see a player hold that when using the AWP, but Kyofo very confident in his own abilities. 4v3 post plant here. We do have a player towards middle. Oh my god, this is so techy. A triple boost there. I love that. Zero Tenacity got a little back pocket strat to try and find the opening kill, and they find success here. We do still have this player towards middle. He's made his position known. Lovica's with a double. Brute Monster with the trade, and now it's all on Danis. Smoke has been dropped for the bomb. Oh, but Danis will be able to find him. Just sat in the smoke here, and Danis has played this one to perfection. Namana not even going to have time for this one. It's all over, and that is an absolutely amazing play there from Danis. Lovica's as well. So much impact in that one. Coming from behind, getting a double.
Yeah, Zero Tenacity. It looked like they did all the work. Just sort of overlooked a couple of positions. Got punished for it.
Bax, they are looking brilliant here on the T side. It's clear to see that Vertigo is a map they are very much well drilled on.
Triple boost. Oh, that's actually just normal double boost. Lovica's pushing very far out. Simka didn't have much time to react to that shot, but very crucial kill.
I mean, he was expecting him to be there. Just kind of just a little bit lazy, you could say. Just wasn't ready for it. Oh, Axis. I don't think he was ready to find that kill onto Brute Monster, but the spray through the smoke was perfect. Roofire going to be searching for Simka here. Does find the frag. 2 versus 4 now, both coming from the back lines. Danis finds Namana, and Kyofo meets his demise as well.
Even with that 19 HP, Danis still a nice couple of kills.
Bax, they go 5-0 up. Obviously, they had a really strong start on Mirage, but Zero Tenacity brought themselves back into it. You've got to hope for Bax's sake that we don't see a repeat of that. Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, something you mentioned earlier. I feel like Nuke, I feel like it's going to be on the cards, but I don't know why. But it's clear to see that Bax, they've looked very nice on Vertigo so far. I love this from AVN. He's ready for the player on the boost. He spots Danis, and instead of going for the spam through the wall, because he might not be able to find that kill, he goes for the guarantee. He knows the boost is incoming.
Two-man advantage now for Zero Tenacity. They found themselves in a similar situation previously. Haven't been able to convert. This is one that they have to.
Especially with the 2-man advantage. They can't just throw this one away. Still got a fair bit of utility for Bax to utilise. But it is going to be tough for them. Obviously, with that two-man disadvantage, they're going to have to find a couple kills early on before they even progress onto the bomb site. But the time is ticking away. I wonder where they are going to lean. It seems as though the A-bomb site's going to be the play. Oh, Simka finds one, but Rexy with a trade. Namana progresses down through ramp. Rufai does have the bomb on his back. It is a 1v3. It's going to be very tough. And we already see Kyofo rotating in. He is towards Generator right now. The plant will come through. Oh, it is just a tap on the bomb, but Kyofo so close there. Does find it, and Zero Tenacity, they post their first round here on Vertigo.
Yeah, got to be able to string these rounds together. Money isn't in a great position for backs. Lovicus, not sure what he's going to be willing. Just the Deagle. Galil and Deagle in play. Util's not perfect on certain players. So Zero Tenacity, this is sort of feels like their best chance to get back into this one. If they win this, 3 rounds should be able to be found. Man advantage does go the way from backs, thanks to the spam from Rexy.
Ooh, great find from Axis onto Brood Monster and instantly backs. They punish their opponents. Axe getting very deep there. Lovicus with the Deagle takes down Simka. Obviously, it wasn't the nicest, the cleanest of engagements, but still found the frag. 2 versus 4 now. Zero Tenacity certainly going to struggle. And it is going to be this B aggression here. I don't think they're going to be ready for Danish so deep. Does find AVN. And that was an important round for Zero Tenacity to win, but Vax straight away eliminated them. And the pressure that Axis caused finding that opening pick, it forced Zero Tenacity to back away from the B-bomb site so early on because they knew the A aggression was coming through. And then that D kill from Lovicus kind of was the final nail. The B players, they had to rotate off just because it should have been an A play there. But Bax, I like this split aggression from them. It's so clear that the individuals are stepping up massively, so they can just go to both bomb sites. It's an interesting one to see, but it's working out for them. Kyofo in a nice position here, though. Spots one. Kyofo, this is definitely a little bit of an ugly engagement, but does find one.
I'd love to see how probably painful that was from Danist. POV just sort of trying to look up from the really awkward angles, but does get punished. 2-man advantage now for Zero Tenacity. This isn't a great buy. They have to be able to win this. Otherwise, backs can really start to string these rounds together. 4 versus 1 now. Rufai, a lot of work to do.
Charlie, this was a half investment. This wasn't even a full buy. Got to imagine, Bax, they're going to be kicking themselves. They've just done a great job to halt the win streak of Zero Tenacity, essentially just throwing it all away. But Rufai still alive and kicking in this one. He's aware of the aggression. Sorry, he's aware of the aggression towards Gap. Namana going to be peeking from Elevator. Perfectly timed, finds the frag. It's nice to see Namana on the AWP. Obviously, Brood Monster had fallen early on, but I feel like Namana's a player. I feel like he does operate as that secondary AWP. We've seen a multitude of clips from Namana with the AWP, so nice to see him wielding that weapon. Do you like the idea of a secondary AWP?
I do. It is very costly, though. It is. I feel like secondary AWPs can really be the sort of thing that can just dominate a CT side. The issue is, though, sometimes you can see it really be the undoing. If teams are sort of near the end of the half, they're sort of struggling a bit, and the secondary AWP just kills their economy. And it's like, yes, you sort of needed something to sort of help you get back into the game, but I feel like just the money the second AWP costs does sometimes become your undoing. 1-for-1 trade towards the B site. AVN definitely got a lot of the information.
It's going to be this B aggression here. Kyofo playing a lovely angle there, takes down Rexy. The bomb has been dropped. They might be going back towards the A-bomb site, but look how deep Simka is on the ramp. They've got no information towards A. It's going to be a real struggle for them to try and retake that control, but that is where they are leaning. Lovicus will be the first one to fall, and Simka just drops the molly and backs away. Another 4v2 here for Zero Tenacity. Obviously, they haven't been able to string rounds together so far, but this could be the start for them.
It's interesting where backs actually do decide to go. They are heading towards A. Flashbang thrown from Simka as he just backs away a bit.
Axis getting aggressive here. Great find onto the AWP Brute Monster. Oh, and he takes down Simka as well. 4v2 gone very wrong here for Zero Tenacity. And they're just going to be doubling up towards short.
That was all Axis. That was just one player. The other one wasn't even there.
Not even needed. Ooh, but Axis does fall. It's all on Roofire now. We do have both players with the kit. Surely just going to need to see a tap of the bomb here. Yoffo might stick it. Oh, this is a risk. Roofire. Oh, he thinks it's a fake. He thinks it's a bait. I love that from Zero Tenacity. And Kyofo, ice in the veins, just sticking the bomb there. It was a real risk, but the angles were being covered as well. And Zero Tenacity, they do string these rounds together. Obviously, Roofire still got the AK in this one. Just going to be a half buy for Bax. Zero Tenacity, they can go on a little bit of a streak here. And the half's not over yet. Although Bax had a really dominant start, it was 6-1. You know, Zero Tenacity, they can still come back into this one. And that's a scary prospect for Bax. ZT are a team that you really cannot take your foot off the gas when playing against them, because they can bring themselves quite easily back into a game. And we saw that on Mirage. We saw the initial success from Bax, and then Zero Tenacity, they found their footing. And that's when things started to spiral out of control. For Bax, they can't have that again. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Axis, I think there was a bit of the smoke bug there. Roofire is so deep here. There's no way to expect him. Does take down Brute Monster though. Time and time again, Bax, one of their players always seems to be getting very deep without getting seen. Oh, Roofire doing so much work here. Might be able to find the player generator as well. Oh, Roofire's found 3.
I mean, it sort of feels like it's men against boys here. I mean, and look how easy this just seems for Roofire.
Namana now 1 versus 2, very minimal HP, and I think he might just let Roofire ace it. Namana might just save though. Orb will be saved for Rexy here as well, but that is so tough. Zero Tenacity, a round that they never should have lost, but Roofire finding 4 in that one.
I mean, we can't even pretend that round was a team performance. That was all Roofire.
He just got himself in the back lines.
Individually, yeah, it wasn't even with a teammate. Just individually found himself in the back lines, found 1, and he wasn't even challenged. Found 4 kills and didn't take a single bullet in return. Like, that seems to be the undoing of Zero Tenacity time and time again. Just these players being able to creep up. I mean, you mentioned, oh, it seems like, I believe it was Kyofo or Simka towards A. It didn't seem like they were expecting. It doesn't seem like Zero Tenacity are expecting any of these pushes at all. We've seen Axis do the same thing a number of times. Lovicus, it's just really been a thorn in Zero Tenacity's side. Still a buy here, though, from Zero Tenacity. They can still give it a crack. Brute Monster's got an orb of his own.
Brute Monster's really struggled here on Vertigo, though. 5 and 9, and it's not as though he hasn't had the opportunities with the orb. It just seems to be getting bested. I feel like the last round was very unfortunate. Roofire got so deep there. It is a tough spot to be in, but I feel like we need to see a little bit more from the orb of Zero Tenacity. But once again, one of the Bax aggressors getting very deep here. Namana will fall, and instantly Bax, they've got themselves in a man advantage. Obviously, Lovicus, very low HP. Oh, Molotov's coming through. That orb shot just shy of hitting its mark. Secondary util going to be coming through now, and the flash going to come through towards Ram. Surely we're going to see some aggression here. We do just see Simka posted up on this angle. We'll be able to find one, though. Might swing his way on through, but would be met by Rexy's AWP. So backing away, certainly the right play to make. We do see this aggression up gap now, and Simka could take him down. Danis will fall. Man advantage now for Zero Tenacity. But Lovicus on the AWP towards Sandbags. He's in a great position to find some frags.
Kyofo not showing himself at all. He's aware that he could just be being held by an orb. 25 seconds on the clock. A lot of players have been chipped down.
Lovga's still 4 HP. So it is going to be tough. We do have 4 flashbangs here. The backs, an amazing spam there from Rexy, but Kyofo will find roof fire. So still man advantage here. Is this going to be a save? They've only got 9 seconds to play with it. But the orb will get taken down and Rexy has been spotted. Monster going for a little pot shot there.
Yeah, backs. I think they were hoping a little bit too much that Zero Tenacity were going to be making a few more mistakes, giving up some picks, but it didn't really come through. You saw how passive Kyofo and Brute Monster were playing.
Yeah, rightly so. I feel like backs, they've been really good at finding these individual picks on players that are a little bit out in the open. I feel like the way Simka played that as well was pretty good. You're finding that pick and instantly falling back. Usually in those type of positions, you see a player aggress, wanting to be the hero, but no, Zero Tenacity, they just need to play this one passively because the aggression from backs is consistently catching them out. Another buyout here for backs, but obviously not much money in the reserve. So if Zero Tenacity can win this one, they can put themselves in touching distance away from their opponents, as it should just be an eco from backs in the next.
We've seen this situation before from Zero Tenacity, and they just fell too short. Just to take 9 on Axis, and he finds himself at M4 for his troubles.
Yeah, man advantage here for backs as well. Limited utility, but they've got enough for an exec. 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a flash. I wonder where they're going to send that molly, though. Axis very much aware of this player towards sandbags. That backs aren't taking any liberties here. Ooh, Namana finds one, but the instant trade comes through. And now the progression onto the bomb site.
And it's once again, Fred, a slightly weaker buy from backs, and Zero Tenacity just can't seem to best it. They've been in this situation time and time again, where this one round is really going to change how the game goes. If they win this, Fred, they could have found 6. They could have sort of been 1 round away.
Yeah, we mentioned the backs money not being perfect. A similar kind of story for Zero Tenacity, as their funding really lacking. So backs, they're going to take the half and potentially even more. And looking at how Vertigo's going so far, backs, they are looking absolutely brilliant here. And I feel like Vertigo, it's a map that you can really see teams dominate on that T side when you've got that coordination. You've got those players that can just aggress just of their own accord, take those individual kind of fights just based off pure ability and game sense. They know when they're going to find a gap. And we've seen it time and time again here for backs. A player just slithering into the back lines and making, you know, really troublesome for Zero Tenacity. Obviously, the 2 saved weapons, they are going to be going for this one now. We've got some real limitations. An MP9, a FAMAS, some lacking pieces of utility. Only 1 kit on Brute Monster as well. But Zero Tenacity, they're throwing everything at this one. Losing this round, though, will allow backs to find double digits. Double digits on the T side of Vertigo. Something you really don't want to be seeing. I feel like once we saw Zero Tenacity win Mirage, we knew that backs needed to take Vertigo. They had to come through with a firepower. I feel like Nuke is going to be on the cards, and I can't wait to see it. Obviously, both of these teams have favoured Nuke in their kind of regular season and also in their playoff games. So you've got to imagine Nuke is going to be an absolute battleground. No team that you could really say are the favourites. So I can't wait to see Nuke play out.
I mean, we were talking about how it just sort of, it just gives off the vibe that we are going to be heading to Nuke regardless of sort of what information we had on Vertigo. It just gives off that feeling, and for like after seeing backs play so far, I mean, that feeling's definitely been extended.
Oh, nice find from Dan. This takes down AVN, and straight away, backs, they come with a real firepower in this one. Kyofo only able to find one before falling, and there we have it. Lovicus aggressing, takes down Namana. We might just need these 2 rifles to save again, but things are really not working out well for Zero Tenacity.
don't even know if they're going to be allowed to save these rifles. Might see a bit of a hunt here from some of the backs players.
Just throwing a decoy at his teammate. That does damage, isn't it? 1 damage from a decoy?
I don't... It used to do damage. I think they changed it. And I don't even know if they changed it where it does nothing now, or if it still does 1 armor.
Maybe it does 1...
I remember it used to be
I think it does
a funny thing where you throw it at your teammate to ruin his armor.
I think it does 1 damage on explosion. I remember seeing that clip on Mirage where the guy throws the decoy on Palace right on his head, yeah.
I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. I swear they changed it because it used to be it used to just be something that people used to do to throw at their teammates. It's always nice to throw a decoy at your teammate on the pistol round. Ruin his armor.
Straight away. You got 150 to spend, you might as well buy a decoy, right? Nice find from Lovicus, though. This has just been the half bite. The backs, as we mentioned, can easily find 10 here. Oh, nice find from Simka, though. Takes down Lovicus there. Obviously, we're not expecting Zero Tenacity to find this round, but I feel like damage certainly is going to be the main aim. Find from Axis there. Takes down the flanking player.
It's just a very dominant showing from backs here, isn't it? Axis, find an avian as well. Simca with this. M4 going to be trying to keep hold of it again.
I've been able to, but it's gonna be a tough one.
Could be an 11-4 half. Be pretty ridiculous.
And I feel like that's a situation, especially when you're switching to the T side of Vertigo, that you potentially can't come back from. Backs, they've looked so good on the T side, and I can't wait to see the showing that they are going to produce when they switch to that CT side. We might not even have that much to see from backs on their CT side. Simka has been tagged there. Brood Monster does find access, but Brood Monster and Simka both been chipped below 50. An advantage still though for Zero Tenacity. Great find from AVN. Brood Monster takes down Rooffire as well. Zero Tenacity, this will be a necessary round for them. Obviously, if they can win the pistol on the T side, it should put them up to 8 rounds, but they need to find this one first. And we've seen a lot of disadvantage situations from backs, and they've been able to close it out, but it's just Rexy here, and he gets eliminated. Where was this Zero Tenacity earlier on in the half? They played that round to absolute perfection. We needed to see more of that from them.
Yeah, completely, but I feel like, is it too far gone at this point? 3 of the Zero Tenacity rounds were won in isolation, only 2 of them strung together, so they could never really get any of their economy going. It's put them in a really difficult spot. 10-5, backs on their T side looked very clean, very sort of dominant, real well-oiled machine. Just the individuals just abusing Zero Tenacity. And now they're going to be moving over to the CT side.
Can't wait to see what they provide for us on the CT side. Obviously, we had a very aggressive mindset from a lot of the players there in backs. Once they kind of feel they've got a timing, they progress. And I feel like when we see that on the CT side, that's when things could get very scary. Could potentially see a couple mid flanks down the ladder, some aggression through B, and similarly taking that aggression towards the A ramp position. I feel like Zero Tenacity a little bit in a tough spot here. Because backs, they've looked absolutely amazing here on Vertigo so far. And I feel like the strengths they showed on the T side certainly aren't going to go away once they flip to the CT side. Decoy coming in. Sent to force them back. A lot of util invested here from Zero Tenacity. And I like it when you see the T's bringing out a lot of util, because obviously, you know, the USPs are always going to be aiming for the head. They're kind of those turrets that you kind of set up towards those angles. But Rexy and Danis with the Julies, they're both finding kills. Danis finds another. He was able to find 4 on the pistol on Mirage with the Julies. And he do it again, though.
This round goes the way of backs. Nuke could be on the cards a lot sooner than we expected. Brute Monster and Kyofo both being brought down low. Kyofo 1 versus 3 now. Finds the first, but just the aggression, the constant pressure from Axis does take him down. 11-5. The pistol that desperately needed to go the way of Zero Tenacity gets found by backs.
Yeah, things are looking dangerous here. Lack of a bomb plant as well won't allow Zero Tenacity to get a buyout in this one. That could be a saving grace for them, though, as we do see 3 MP9s invested from back. So Zero Tenacity, not going to be the biggest of their problems if they do fall in this one. I think Danis is wondering why that wasn't a smoke. But I like the decoy. Shows that they know the lineup. Aggression here from Lovicus, though. Does find the first. Contains the second as well. Might just be backing away, but he's made the steps. Potentially, they've got the information that he's fallen back, but he's sticking around and he wants some more. The final kill stolen away by Rooffire, in fact. But Backs, they found 12. They made a lot of money with these weaker weapons, with the MP9s. And now it's Zero Tenacity's turn. They've got the AKs in play. They've got a lot of work to do. And if they aren't successful in this one, I feel like it's safe to say, Charlie, Nuke is where we're heading. Because obviously, this one's not over. But it's going to be very tough.
Great nade there. Brings Simka down to around half HP, and AVM being shipped down alongside him as well.
Yeah, we saw one of those MP9s get upgraded. Lovicus, I believe, brought out the M4, and I feel like sometimes that's the right play to make, especially because Backs, they're so close to closing this one out. They don't want to give Zero Tenacity anything to work with, and 3 MP9s in this round potentially could have been a little too tough. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing the boost coming through. Nice molly, the nade as well. Going to do a lot of damage. And now we see Zero Tenacity aggressing. Great find from Kyofo onto Danis.
Man advantage still found here from Zero Tenacity after these engagements towards the B site. Rexy and Axis are what remain. Molotov on Rexy. Gets dumped down towards site, but Axis finds the kill just before.
Rexy's going to be aggressing here. Has spotted one. Oh, and they've got information on both of them. It's all on Rexy now. 1 versus 1. Spots out the player, but Kyofo in the clutch will take him down. And Zero Tenacity, they best their opponents. But obviously, Charlie, we still had 2 MP9s invested there. We still had some kind of weapons from the previous round. So, Vax, they do have some money to play with. Zero Tenacity, not in so much of a similar story. We're going to see limitations on both sides here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the buy is going to look like for Backs. Rooffire can get himself out an M4. Danis and Lovicus might be on the MP9s.
If Lovicus didn't upgrade in that last round, obviously he would have had a strong buy in this, but obviously they're not playing for the future rounds. Backs are in the here and now, and they want to close it out soon. So you understand why he upgraded, but potentially wasn't worth it.
Yeah, did only find one. He sort of baited it in anyway. So maybe the MP9 could have done just as good a job.
Potentially even better, because obviously you can have quite a lot of mobility with the MP9s. So he could have found a first and just swung his way on out.
Just a pause here, though. This is actually a technical pause, so hopefully all the solutions will be found as quick as possible.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these players and teams are going to be used to these technical pauses by now. I feel like online Counter-Strike, it's always riddled with tech issues, but that's kind of just the world, really.
World of Esports, yeah?
Not the world of it, just the world in general. I feel like, you know, you could be working from home, working from an office. Your internet can go down, and that's kind of just it. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
My parents' internet's actually been down for the last 3 days, so... God, I'm not living there anymore.
That would be tough, to be fair.
Yeah, it's horrible when that happens.
Cast from we can go Discord on your phone and you can cast from there.
Yeah, you just share your screen. I mean, I think the issue is with the internet. I feel like if you got a problem with your computer, a lot of the time you can look it up. You can sort of if you use computers a lot, chances are you're gonna have a bit of basic understanding. But with the internet, I don't know if it's the same with you. Unless it's turning it off and on again.
Oh, I've got nothing. It's that.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. You can look online, none of it works.
See, you reset it, and it goes from like the red bar to like orange, and then back to red, and then you kind of question, okay, well that kind of worked, so we'll try it again, and I think what it is the internet tricks you. You keep just resetting stuff, and then eventually the internet will just work again. But it's you resetting it, and then you're like, well, I fixed it, I've done it, I'm the god of the internet kind of thing, and when in reality it's just you just gotta wait. It's painful.
Yeah, it is pretty horrible.
I remember a couple months back when I was still at university, I remember my internet used to go down quite a lot of the time, and it wasn't really a fun spot whatsoever. It would happen a couple times in these SCL games, and also when just playing CS as well. Not a fun way to kind of enjoy your day, but hopefully no more of that. As I mentioned, it can happen to anyone. But like it happens to Flamboyant sometimes, which is a little bit tough, but he works his way through it. A real trooper.
Bonnie isn't actually too bad from backs. Ooh. And they do find the man advantage, not convincingly, but they do grab it.
And we could see Rufire request that M4 from Rexy. Surely that's got to be the play to make. I love this. So this is what we were talking about. Players like Axis taking that individual aggression just based on instinct. You know what? I found a gap. I'm going to take it. And he finds the kill as well. Now got themselves into a two-man advantage. And this is where things become quite scary for Zero Tenacity. Yes, they won the last round, but it came to a 1v1. So the money really drained. Not much in the reserve. Namana very deep here. Talk about individuals taking the aggression based off of timing, based off a gap. Namana does find one, spots the second, but will get taken down. But AVN on the instant trade, 2 versus 2 now. Zero Tenacity have done a great job to reduce this advantage and bring it back to a level playing field. And now they're the ones who, in fact, take the advantage. Kyofo will close it out as well. A great round from Zero Tenacity. Going to put them ever closer to their opponents. This should just be an eco from Bax. So Zero Tenacity, they should be able to find 8, and that's when they're 4 rounds away from their opponents. Obviously, we both mentioned that Nuke should be on the cards, but Zero Tenacity, they're still alive and kicking in this one, and I feel like they could still close it out in a 2-0 fashion. It would be very tough for them, but it's still they're still here to play on Vertigo.
We need to see something different that we just haven't seen from them so far in this matchup. Obviously, Zero Tenacity definitely have the capabilities to do so. AVN got a couple of pistols coming his way. In fact, they're all giving him sort of 1v1s.
Switches
to the Glock. Oh, 1 kill off the ace. Axis trees the AK. Doesn't have an opportunity to wield it, though. AVN. Nice little 4K from him.
This is what we're talking about. Rounds like that can really improve a player's confidence. It was AVN that we were talking about in the last game. He just found, you know, a round where he got a 4K. Did it once again. And
providing really sort of started his dominance, Mirage, didn't it?
Yeah, and I
just
feel
that one round, and he just kept it going.
We could definitely see it here on Vertigo. But we need a player. Well, we need players like Brute Monster and Namana as well to kind of find those nice little 4Ks on an eco to give them their confidence too. Because we've had a lot of players for this Zero Tenacity side that haven't really stepped up when needed.
Rexy ball down really low from that molly. I don't think he realised that it does spread through that great. Kill found onto Axis though.
Now they can just back away. They've got the man advantage. Rexy still very low HP. Zero Tenacity in a great position to take this one. And obviously the success in this round will put them on double digits. 2 rounds away from their opponent. So Bax, they really need to stabilise here. They look so dominant, but Zero Tenacity, they've done a great job here to try and close the gap between them and their opponents. Oh, and things go from bad to worse as Danis, one of the 100 HP players, will fall. It's now all on Rexy to defend. We do see the rotation coming through. In fact, that is Rufire. A lot deeper than I initially perceived. They have just gambled towards A here. We do have this flank coming through, but I don't think it's going to matter. Lovicus a little too far away now. Ooh,
and nade was thrown towards headshot. Rexy would have fell.
Util coming through, but AVN needs to be aware of the backlines. Oh, and no, he's not even aware, but he's just a little shy check there, and he takes down Lovicus. Rexy all alone, 1 versus 3, 12 HP. 1 versus 4, in fact. Kyofo could be the one to take him down, though he's still towards default, hunting for this frag. Rexy's trapped, can't get away, does get taken down. Zero Tenacity, they find their 9th. The money's slowly growing for them. Players like Kyofo and Simka going to be around that 6k mark.
This will be the eco once again from Bax. You mentioned double digits can be found off Zero Tenacity winning that round.
Yeah, and things are looking scary for Bax. Even after their dominant start. Even their dominant finish. They're half very successful, 10-5. Kyofo starts things off nicely here, takes down Roofire. And then Namana finding access. Two defenders here towards B. Brute Monster's Molotov might force him back. Nice thing from Lovicus. Oh, I love that. Progresses through the smoke or the Molotov, but still gets taken down by Brute Monster. Rexy finding Simka there. A clean Deagle headshot, but they're just going to be going up towards A. Rexy, once again, the lone defender here towards A. Util will be thrown now.
Solo defender and Rexy with this Deagle. Gets taken down by a nice shot, and Danis soon to follow. Double digits on the board. Finances starting to grow for Zero Tenacity.
Something I haven't even looked upon, Charlie. Kyofo's 25-13. Really been the hero in all of this kind of this Vertigo game for them. Seems as though
he had a good Mirage as well, so definitely was able to carry that through.
And I feel like Kyofo's a player that sometimes you don't always see him at the top of the scoreboard. You'd kind of picture Brute Monster to always be the one reigning supreme, but I think when Brute Monster doesn't have those top tier games, Zero Tenacity do call upon Kyofo, and he's done a great job in this one so far. But it's all about keeping it going. Sometimes you'll see players get themselves to that kind of 20-25 kill mark, and then they start to slow down. Kyofo needs to keep this ability, this strength going. Because it's not as though everyone on the backside is fragging out. Danis Lovicus not having the greatest of games so far. I love this aggression from Roofire, though. Certainly could catch off Zero Tenacity, and he takes down Kyofo. That is the top performer falling. And now the rest of the Zero Tenacity side need to put up some numbers here. Namana can be swinging through the smoke. They're aware of the play here, but Namana could take him down. As the smoke fades, he will find him. Roofire still alive on 7 HP. This isn't the most even 4v4s.
You've got to be favouring Zero Tenacity in this one, just to got a bit more utility. Obviously, Roofire very low HP. AVN does fall towards B. Lovicus in a very strong position. Simka finds that low HP Roofire.
3 versus 3 still. Utility exactly the same on both sides. Smoke and 3 flashes. Oh, and look at this flank from Lovicus. He's in the back lines. He's going to find the bomb. Oh, he hasn't actually sighted it yet. Simka needs to be aware of this. Oh, Simka! That is such an important frag onto Lovicus. Without it, Zero Tenacity certainly would have struggled. Util will come over, and Namana finds the frag. The bomb still dropped here.
Yeah, they're going to head out towards B. Look at Simka. He's cleared out all the B site.
They could still
Namana
go
could just be a bit of a lurk.
Rexy with a very tough job on his hands, but it doesn't even matter. Simka takes him down. Zero Tenacity, they find 11, and this is going to be another half buy from Bax. Zero Tenacity, that's 6 rounds in a row. They put themselves in a perfect position to level things up now, and Bax are questioning how they haven't closed this one out already. It was a 12-5 scoreline, Charlie.
Yeah, this is a game we were sort of near enough saying, oh yeah, this one's over. Nuke's on the cards, sort of looking ahead to that. And then we saw that ridiculous 4 versus 2 that Zero to Nasty were able to win. And that's really helped sort of this game get started. Great spam there from Rufire, in fact. In fact, Fred, this is a really strange buy from Bax. Lovicus is fully invested. Rufire does have 950 in the bank, so he can actually get enough money to buy. It's not going to be a perfect one, though. So it is a bit of a strange buy, but they do have a couple of M4s in play.
I didn't realise that wall was so spammable. Seems as though he took him down in a very minimal amount of bullets, especially for a spam through a wall that thick. Rufire searching for a kill here. The smokes will land. No flashes for Rufire. A little too late. Brewmonster finds Lovicus. Rufire still alive and kicking. 3 versus 3 hit. Simka going to be spearheading this attack. Has spotted Rufire. Tags him down even lower. Brewmonster very low HP, but while wielding the orb, not the biggest of problems. AVN questioning from this flank, and he does find Danis. Simka now takes down Rufire. It's all on Rexy. Once again, tasked with another 1 versus 3, but doesn't have the orb in hand.
Clearing out all these angles, but Simka just in the back of the site. Perfect peaks. Takes him down. We're all leveled up, Fred. In a game that we thought was destined to be Bax's. Certainly isn't looking like that. Pause called now.
Charlie, this was exactly what we were saying. You cannot take your foot off the gas. Yes, you're 12-5 up. The game's yours to win. But please go and win it first. Don't be making these confident plays. Don't be kind of pushing aggressively unnecessarily, because Zero Tenacity, they're a side that you cannot overlook. And look what's happened now. Bax, they were in a perfect position. Only needed 4 rounds. And Zero Tenacity needed 7 to level things up. But they've won 7 in a row. And Zero Tenacity, they're going to have the confidence. They're going to have, you know, their players stepping up massively. Simka's now on a positive KD. It seems as though Simka's the one to step up alongside Kyofo. And things are not looking great for Bax. This round going to be so pivotal here. If Bax don't win it, they're going to be forced onto another half buy. And that's where Zero Tenacity, they can take the lead. But an important find from Rexy. Takes down the Orpa of Zero Tenacity. And now Namana, though, gets the kill back. Puts Zero Tenacity onto a level playing field here.
Yeah, I love that from Namana. Just instantly backs up. Doesn't want anything to do with it. Lovicus, the cheeky little one-way in that smoke, finds AVM. Man advantage goes back the way of Bax.
An important kill there from Lovicus. Won't go and retrieve the weapon. Questioning whether there is another player. This is so techie. I don't know if you've seen this, Charlie, but Rufire's just spotted the player aggressing ramp. It's going to be a 2 versus 4. Kyofo and Simka, the 2 top performers for Zero Tenacity, to try and best their opponents. The steps have been heard towards ramp, so Kyofo or Simka will have the indication of Rufire's aggression, but Simka's pushing through. I absolutely love this. They're going to be aggressing towards A now. 2 versus 3. Lovicus going to be in the back lines. Does retrieve the weapon, but it is an AWP. We'll just keep the AK as well. Danis with an important frag. It's all on Kyofo now, and Danis doubles down. Bax, they finally find their first out of 7 rounds, or out of 8 rounds, sorry. And they do retain the lead here.
Yeah, not comfortable, but a round nonetheless started very nicely from Rexy taking down Brute Monster. Ramp progression. Lovicus does get found. Rufire does take down AVM with the nade. Stays for a little too long, and Brute Monster peeks in. Rip him out the server. Danis abusing these smokes.
Quite unnecessary there from Namana. Obviously, they wanted to sell somewhat of a fake towards A, but so unnecessary, especially in these do-or-die situations. Obviously, Zero Tenacity, they're looking to close this out into 2-0, but taking this early aggression without the necessary util really is costing them. Kyofo gonna be aggressing towards Guardian now. Brings out the Molotov. He's made his position known. He needs to be aware of this player towards CT. But Danis comes alive, takes him down, and now it's all on Brute Monster. Brute Monster's had a really tough half so far. Had a tough game. You could potentially even say a tough series. But this is the time for him to step up, and I love the angle he's playing. So cheeky here. To find this kill towards B. He would have in fact got the kill there on the cross. has got the bomb on his back, but I think he's searching for a frag before even going in.
Bomb can go down. Like you said, it looks like he does want to find a frag first.
He's got 28 seconds to play with here. He's just going to stick the bomb. Certainly the right call to make. Both players towards CT here. Axis will be able to retrieve a flashbang here. Brute Monster just going to be falling back. We do have a smoke for the bomb. That is on Axis. Molotov towards white box. Brute Monster posted up on the angle. Oh, but the swing from Danis. Danis really has struggled in this game so far, but he's come alive massively here. And Bax, they find 14.
It feels like normally that's a shot Brute Monster's never going to be missing. But he does get found. Unlucky stuff. Bax string their rounds together. Money's still not perfect for them. Zero Tenacity have enough to get another buyout. Surprisingly, Fred, Brute Monsters opted not to go for an AWP. Simk had over 10k in the bank and could have actually invested in one.
He's been struggling. He really has, and it just goes to show that the real lack of confidence Brute Monster has in his own abilities on the AWP, and I feel like you've touched upon it very nicely. That shot, it's one that we never see Brute Monster miss normally, but the fact he wasn't finding success with the AWP so far, quite clear to see that he has really lost his confidence. And it's really sad to see when a player loses confidence, especially when it's the AWP.
Hopefully it is just on vertigo.
I feel like
he's not too comfortable. That was really cheeky. And Danis gets punished. Brute Monster take a bow. No AWP needed for that one. Lightning fast to react onto Danis there.
Cheeky little run boost as well. That's a lovely little clip for Brute Monster, although just the one kill. Very techie. Man advantage here for Zero Tenacity. Realistically, they need to find this one. Bax could close it out. Obviously, Simka can drop weapons over, but
I mean, if Zero Tenacity win this, this is going to be a real photo finish into this game because Bax, their money's not great. Their loss bonus is started to dissipate. It's 2.4k, so it's going to be a very mixed sort of finances for the team, and they'll probably have to take a half bite. So it could be a 14-14 scoreline. Axis playing on top of the site.
Flashbang's forcing him off the angle. Brute Monster going to be the one spearheading this aggression. Takes down Axis. And Brute Monster, he's found 3 so far in this round. You know what? If you're having a shaky time with your, bring out the AK. Because look what Brute Monster can provide with it.
He was on 23 HP after finding Danis Thread. Found 2 more kills. Still on the exact same health.
And if Zero Tenacity can keep all players alive in this one, this would be absolutely amazing for their economy. Obviously, we spoke about how Bax's money isn't perfect, but I feel like Zero Tenacity, I don't think they even need to go for the hunt here. No real necessity for it. Will the mana fall to the bomb here?
AVN can find anything, it's a success. Rovicus is next to the chopping block, does take down AVN. I don't know if that 1 kill is good enough.
It's definitely enough though, because look at the money.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can drop over 1. Roofire can buy. And I don't think they can invest. I think they have to half buy this. 14 will be on the board. It's interesting, Fred. If Bax kept those 2 players alive, I think they would have forced.
It could have been worse for them though.
Yeah, it's really up in the air. Because obviously you can look at it as if they lose the round, 15's probably on the board. For Zero Tenacity, but if they win it, that could really sort of be what they need to win it. In general, Lovicus, the player with the rifle, barely alive. Simcoe looks aware of Danis. He falls as well. 13 HP on Lovicus. He can drop over this AK, but no one else on the side has armor.
Yeah, I feel like though Zero Tenacity in all situations, they just left AVN to probe a little bit there, and the fact he found 1 is going to halt the buy from Bax, and if anything, it's going to leave Zero Tenacity in a nicer position to take the whole game. Because realistically, this being an eco, it's going to be a 14-14. Everything's going to be invested in the next from Bax. So realistically, if we see Zero Tenacity win this one and the next, they're going to be on 15 and the money for Bax is going to be even worse. So, I don't know. I think it is going to be tough. It's clear to see that Zero Tenacity, they found their footing here on the T side of Vertigo, and Bax potentially struggled, but we could have seen Zero Tenacity take this. Bax, they found 2 rounds here recently, and that could have been very troublesome. Rexy on the rifle will be able to find one, but Simka with the trade. Lovicus and Axis, all that remain here. 2 versus 4. Their main aim is going to be damage. Oh, Simka has in fact spotted him. Reaction isn't perfect, but he will find the frag, and we're at a level playing field here now, Charlie. 28 rounds have been played, and not a single round between these two teams. 14 to 14. As you mentioned, a real photo finish.
Zero Tenacity are going to have enough money to invest in the next round, even if they lose.
Charlie,
Backs, the story will not really be the same for them.
a question I'm kind of pondering. Have Bags called this pause to potentially bring out the double AWP? Rufi's invested in M4. Obviously,
They don't have an AWP at all.
Obviously, Rufi and Lovicus will be able to invest in the next. Rexy, Axis, Danis, not going to be perfect. So if Zero Tenacity are going to take this one, as you mentioned, they've got money to buy in the next. We're going to see a hunt from them because the money from Bax is in absolute dire situations. And Zero Tenacity, they can't let anyone save. But obviously, we've got to see how this round goes out. Bax, they can still win this, but we could see an overtime on the cards, Charlie. We have everything to play for. There's still Nuke on the cards. We could see a 2-0 from Zero Tenacity, or we could keep Vertigo alive and go to OT. So many different
real
possibilities.
chance, if Zero Tenacity just go for one strong execute, they find a couple of kills, the Bags have to save. That's all it can take, really, just due to the Bags' finances. Both AWPers are having a very tough time here. Rexy's opted not to go for the AWP, similar to Brute Monster. The teammate could have dropped him. They both had enough money. Rufi and Lovicus. Flashbangs are good. Lovicus towards the back of the site does get found. First kill found. Rufi soon to follow. I was talking about this could be a save here. Rexy does find one. 27 points of health. Boosted up here. A single bullet could take him down.
Oh, and it does. Danis does find Kyofo, but it's a 2 versus 3. AVN has spotted what they... Surely the save's a better play to make. But AVN, he spotted him. He's going to be going for this fight here, but he doesn't want to lose his life. But yeah, it's just going to be the save. And Zero Tenacity, they've got enough money. Go for the hunt. Try and take these weapons out of your opponent's hands. Zero Tenacity, they're the ones in the driver's seat. We're going to be going into round 30 with Zero Tenacity in the lead. And Charlie, this was a 12-5 scoreline. Bax, they switched to the more favoured side, and they are having so many troubles here. Danis, he's going to get spotted, surely, as we do see AVN aggressing. The hunt will come through, but Danis can keep himself alive, but look at the money they've got to work with. Rexy, Axis, not going to get a buy. Danis can drop one over, but this is very tough here. We could be seeing an overtime, though, Charlie.
They do at least all have rifles. And that's just that Danis, the fact that he was able to save that. Very much up in the air, Zero Tenacity. They have not really faltered at all since being on this streak. Could this be it? Could this actually be the end? Zero Tenacity making an unbelievable comeback in playoffs. What a storyline this would be. Both teams have looked so impressive.
It'd be absolutely...
And yeah, Zero Tenacity really could just end it all here, despite having a terrible Vertigo. I mentioned Bax. The best finish they've had was in quarterfinals, despite always having an unbelievable regular season sort of triumph. Surely they can't fail to make semis once again, surely.
Charlie, I'll be honest, I think it's the pressure. I think the pressure gets to the backside, and look at that, Brute Monster finds another. We've got a 2-man advantage, and it's come from Brute Monster on the AWP. He's got his confidence back, he's got his mojo, and look what he's doing here. Finds a double towards A ramp, and things are starting to take a turn for the worse for this backside. But as I mentioned, I think it's the kind of pressure that gets them. They do so well on all these different maps in the regular season, but once we get to the closing stages, that's when they struggle. When it's do or die, when there's everything on the line. And Brute Monster gets the tag onto Rexy, drops him down very low, and Namana confirms the kill. 5 versus 2. Surely this is over. The player on the backside has been spotted. Gonna be getting aggressive from Simka. He does find the kill. It's all on Lovicus now. Charlie, this one's all over. It's a 1 versus 4 for Lovicus. He's got so much work to do, and he's been spotted. He's been found, and Simka, the final nail in the coffin, does get himself 30 kills as well. And what a series we have to watch here. Congratulations to Zero Tenacity. They will be progressing to the semi-finals, and that is an absolute blunder from Bax. They were 12-5 up on Vertigo. They were switching to the CT side. It seemed as though Nuke was definitely on the cards. Me and you were both talking about it, but it didn't even matter. Zero Tenacity, they brought it back, and what a series we kind of had to watch there. But what are your thoughts after that one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a blunder it was and how much it just was Zero Tenacity looking so sharp. It was as if it just sort of, like a light bulb just switched on inside them. And I don't really know what to say. It was just unbelievable how the individuals, there was at least 3, 4 of the players. The only player who was sort of looking really strong was Kyofo. The rest of the team were a bit shaky, but every single player had their moments. The one that comes to mind was that 4 versus 2 or around that, and Namana's flanking. He finds 2 players, catches the timing. The other one gets the trade on Namana, but an instant trade from ZT back, and it was Namana just having that big moment. He had a really tough game, and yet just that one round just sort of changed everything up. Then Brute Monster had his moments. Obviously, the final round as well, finding the first 2 kills. Really great performance in the end by Zero Tenacity. Really disappointing that that's how backs failed to make semis once again. It feels like Nuke, at least they could have had that third and final map, but Vertigo, a map that looked destined to go their way, fails to be converted. But Zero Tenacity, take a bow because you're our final semi-finalist.
And obviously you mentioned Kyofo being the real kind of star there. There was a point where Kyofo was 25-13. He ended the game 26-19. So he's only able to find 1 kill accompanied by those 6 deaths. Simka, he was around, I think he was 14 to 15 at one point in the game. Or maybe 14 to 12. He ended that game 30-18. Simka, in the last kind of 5-10 rounds, stepped up beyond belief, topped the whole server in that one. And congratulations, Zero Tenacity, as you mentioned. But obviously, we found our final semi-finalists, and I can't wait to see how those semi-finals do go. Obviously, they will be, I believe, on the 23rd. Obviously, there is kind of the ability for rescheduling, I believe. But I can't wait to see how those games are played. But if you guys are enjoying the SCL League, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter so you get those updates about what games are being streamed and how the season's going so far. But we're getting into the final stages. Only 3 more matches to be played, and I can't wait to see who takes